did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
Disney'd.
your fault.
Damn.
We just got Big Hero 6 cards in Lorcana with this new set.
Is that right?
It's true.
I'm straight up changing my slice on the wheel.
You better do it now. You're the
You
only
better
one.
do it in the next 8
I gotta
seconds.
change it to a Disney movie.
You literally have until I finish saying that long intro
Yeah?
for you to do it.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. I'm not changing.
Welcome! Clap sinks. To another episode of the For Movie Podcast. We're your hosts, Jill, Annabeth, Nathan, Dylan, Mason. Not necessarily in that ranking hierarchy or order, but maybe. On today's episode, wait, whose wheel is this?
It's me.
This is yours. Okay, on today's episode, Mason, what are we talking about today?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Mm.
Short name, Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short name, Scott.
Short name, Pilgrim. The movie is basically just this very animated type thing. I don't know. What would you call that?
Hybrid animation.
I don't know if
It's
I would
mostly
call
live
it
action.
animated. Like
No.
it's got like
No.
little snippets of
Yeah.
animation, but
Reminds me of like word art.
I wouldn't call
Yeah.
Kill Bill Volume 1 animated
It's-
because of the
Wait,
section
it's
in...
like
yeah.
a live action comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah, live
That's a
action
good
comic
way
book
to-
adaptation.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
more video gamey than comic book.
That's true,
Very
but
true.
the
Yeah.
But it's based
but-
on a comic.
but it's based on a comic book.
But this is definitely not an animated movie.
No.
No.
True. Scott Pilgrim, he's just this guy who, I guess just falls in love fairly easily, just wants a relationship.
Yeah.
And then...
While being just the most bland.
and terrible human being.
Yeah.
Just the absolute
Uh,
worst.
Consistently just that guy, you know?
Man, I just already have to say I don't like Michael Cera
Mm-mm.
most of the time,
I was going to say, he plays
and
the
I
same
don't
guy.
like him in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. He basically finds this girl named Ramona.
Ramona Flowers. Put some
Ramona
respect
Flowers.
on Mary Elizabeth Winstead's
Ramona,
character.
short name.
Yeah.
And then he has to defeat all of her evil exes
Mhm.
along the way.
That's the plot.
That's
Yeah,
that's
there it
the
is.
movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Perfectly summarized. This is one of the early good movie or comic book movie adaptations that I'm gonna go out of my way to say doesn't get enough respect still. I think
Does it not?
I think I'm like to some people.
That feels the same way as saying that Rescuers Down Under doesn't get a lot of respect.
I mean it doesn't.
Because everyone says, like, oh no, people don't like this movie very much, but, like, it seems like everybody loves it.
I think Rescuers Down Under is not popular, but it's beloved.
Mm.
It's not like anyone's favorite Disney movie, but everyone's like, oh yeah, that's a great Disney movie.
If you're listing Disney movies, how many times does Rescue Down Under get top 10?
Never.
Rarely, if ever.
I
Right.
feel like it would get top 10. It would not get top 5.
It may be in yours, but I
I
think a
don't
lot of
think it
people,
even
Yeah.
a lot of people hit the princess films, the modern ones,
Yeah.
And
a
it's
couple of
also-
Frozens, and it
yeah.
doesn't even make top 10.
It's also what Disney hits, you
Correct.
know? They do not put the Rescuers
they don't
on
sponsor
any
it like
merch.
it's a
Actually,
top
we're
10
not talking
favorite.
about what Disney does.
No,
They
I'm
do
just
Right.
saying,
stupid shit.
it's not like,
In-house it's also...
it's
that's-
underrated.
That's
Yeah.
also not true.
Wow.
You'll find plenty of that sort of stuff at the Disney parks.
Okay, at the Disney parks they have everything.
My point being
At
that you're
Target,
saying it's
they don't.
underrated, but I'm
Correct.
pretty, if anyone is aware of the movie, they put it in very high regard, and more people are aware of it than you think they are.
I'm not
Because
saying
people
that
keep
they're
talking
not.
about
Yeah, I
it.
feel
True.
like this is a pretty well known.
This one is well known. I'm not saying it's not well known. I'm still saying it's underrated when we talk about comic book like movies or comic book adaptation movies
Okay.
that are widely
I've
loved and regarded. And I would quote that by saying, does it even land in most people's top 10?
Where do you? Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah.
What can you say what some other comic book movie adaptations
I think,
are?
like,
'Cause
Zombie-
That's basically what I was gonna say.
The Boys.
Okay,
Those are all,
so we have
TV
adaptations
shows.
outside of that.
Watchmen.
We have all the Marvels. We have all the DC stuff. You gotta
Oh,
keep
yeah.
in mind, this
like
is
Sin
everything.
City, Watchmen. I don't think you should put Marvel in.
Yeah, that's
So,
just like
even
a
if we-
megalith.
If we hold back Marvel, we have most Batman films. All right, probably all of them. And if we start rolling that out, then sure,
There's a
then
lot
this
of
ends up in.
comic book movies.
Okay, but
There is an enormous
okay.
amount of comic book movies. Is my
but
point.
I guess I
think
meant
you-
outside of Marvel and DC because those are the
When you say that, then it's
That's
probably
very
just Scott
different.
Pilgrim and 3 other films that are
Okay,
worth
that's what I
watching.
was-
No, because
Yeah, thank you.
there's
Tank Girl.
there's Tank Girl.
Tank
There's The
Girl.
Watchmen.
There's
There's
Watchmen.
Sin City.
There's Sin City.
Um,
Yeah, okay, so there's some Dark Horse Comics one, but fun fact, those are all still
The
DC
Walking
relative
Dead.
properties.
We're counting
Yeah, but
shows.
I feel like if you want to talk about a more niche comic book,
Mm-hmm.
which is what this would be,
I would agree.
you should compare it to other niche comic book films.
That's the problem, right? I agree in the consistent theme. If we were talking about if we could separate mainstream but this is the problem. We don't. It's all comic book movies. This is a giant umbrella.
Who's we?
The
I
other
do.
comic book nerds, right? That are
Well,
comic book movies and stuff like
I'm
that.
not one of them, I guess.
All right. Well, you're in the wrong places, or you're in the right places.
Is Ghost World?
I was gonna say Ghost Rider, but
Oh, I was gonna say Ghost World. Isn't that movie? Isn't that based on a comic book?
Ghost World.
never
Is
even
that
heard
what
of
it's
that.
called?
I don't
are
know.
you talking about the
Ghost
Nick
of Mars?
Cage thing? There's like something
No,
about
not
like
Ghost
into
Rider.
the ghost. No, there's some thing he did that was like into the ghost lands.
Yeah,
or
that's
some...
one of his newer ones.
No,
Yeah.
this was
No,
like.
it's called Into the Inklands, and that was set two Lorcana sets ago.
We could
There's
get back
too
to
much-
Scott Pilgrim.
there's
We
So
could.
anyways,
We
Yeah,
could.
we're way off.
All
going
semantic
on here.
debate aside, if you think it's underrated, let me know in the comments below what you think. But into the bigger discussion. No, I think people who watch this film typically enjoy this film. I'm not faulting that. I think people who watch
How
this
about
film
we
usually
start with
really enjoy it.
who's seen this before?
Oh, fun fact. All right, so who's seen it before? Wow.
Just
So
you
okay, the
two.
three of you guys.
Not
No.
this household.
But the three of you guys
This
had.
will be a good discussion.
All right, so this is interesting then. You guys lead. We'll treat it a little bit. I mean, this isn't like a perfect one for like, let's say, through 500 Days of Summer.
Sure.
But first impressions.
Okay, I found what I was.
Ghost
talking
World.
about.
Okay,
Yeah.
there was a movie named Ghost World.
Yeah, I was like, I found what I was talking about.
Good for you.
Okay, sorry. First impressions.
Now, what are your first impressions? You
Well,
most recently watched
I
it.
very
Yeah.
recently finished watching it, like a minute before
Yeah.
Dylan showed up.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought it was really creative. I really liked the transitions, like how
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
the pacing was good. The transitions were really cool, and I liked all the little animations and things. And I'm not really a video game person, but I got it, and I was like, this is cool. This is very like video game. Also, the cast is stacked.
Never
Pretty
ending.
phenomenal.
This is
Yeah.
insane.
They keep coming.
Yeah.
Like
No.
every time you think, oh, that's probably gonna be it.
No.
Right? Like there's Chris Evans
Yes.
or you know
May
there's-
Whitman.
Chris, every Aubrey
Yeah.
Plaza, Michael Cera, Mary
Yeah.
Elizabeth Winstead,
Larson.
Brie Larson, Anna
Anna
Kendrick.
Kendrick's
Anna
sister.
Kendrick, yeah, oh my gosh.
The guy, and Aaron Schwartzman.
Aaron
Yeah.
Schwartzman, yeah.
That's
There's
his
also-
name.
Even
and
Julian-
the other guy, the guy from
Perks of Being a Wallflower and
Soy Boy Beta guy? He's not in this.
maybe Jennifer's
No.
Body.
Soy Boy Beta guy too.
Yeah.
No, he's not in. Oh no, that one is. Yeah, that
oh
one
that
is.
guy that was on New Girl, the boyfriend.
We don't know.
Okay.
So, anyways, this movie. Anyways, this is a humongous cast, and
Yeah.
they're
And
all fairly.
Unfortunately, it's anchored by Michael.
By Michael
Yeah, and
Cera.
Michael
Yeah.
Cera is our.
drives
is
the
our
God,
ship.
true
he's
line.
a horrible character.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah, he's the
fucking
worst.
hate this character.
Yeah.
Like this character is going to pull this movie down unbelievably for me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can see that.
to be
Yeah.
fair, you don't have to have likable characters.
Yeah.
You
If
could
anything,
though.
it's
You
It
could.
helps.
It'd be
It
nice
does.
if you did.
It does
Sometimes
help.
it's
Imagine
easier
if
to
you
watch
did.
a movie if they're likable.
It's true, but I feel like the supporting cast was so enjoyable that you kind of get over the fact that Michael Cera is there.
I don't know if I necessarily agree.
This movie's gonna have interesting reviews across.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Michael Cera doesn't bother me so much.
Not
I
me
think,
either.
especially in this role, this feels like a role built around Michael Cera in a lot of ways.
You could see worse Michael Cera movies with Your Highness,
Mm-hmm.
with Youth and Revolt.
Hot take, super bad.
No, Superbad is fantastic.
Hot take.
Anyways,
I think
he is the
that's-
same in everything, but
He is.
those other couple movies are just
Well, like, I'll give you
trash.
an example of one where I think he did well. I think he was good in Arrested Development. I
Yeah.
enjoyed him being
George
in that
Michael.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
like
great
that.
in
That was great.
Right.
This is not him doing well,
Mm.
and I don't think it's even necessarily his fault. I think he's just made to be such a hateable, just milquetoast idiot.
I'm
of a
glad you
character.
said
Well,
milquetoast.
then
I wanted to
maybe-
use that word. You beat
Does
me
it
to
change anything that he seems to have grown as a person by the end of the movie?
No,
Okay.
because it's at the very, very end of the
It
movie.
is
Yeah,
It's like
it is
I
very
wanted,
dark.
like I wanted to be
A journey.
past him for the whole movie.
it.
Like I wanted him to just like straighten the fuck up the
Mm.
whole time.
Yeah,
He's awful.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is he? Or so? Does that mean you're pro Julian? Then by the end of this film, is he just the right?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
No, no.
Gideon?
Gideon. Sorry, Gideon.
Yeah,
You're right.
you're
Yeah.
talking
Sorry.
about
Yeah.
the bad guy.
Yeah.
The last.
The last X. Yeah.
No.
No.
Well, no, because he puts like a chip in Mary Elizabeth Winstead's neck, so
Yeah.
you can't be pro him.
Are we sure?
He was
Are
the
you
final
pro-
boss.
She
Yeah.
kind of. I mean,
Are you pro Gideon?
he's charming. I mean,
he's more charming.
you know how
than
long
Michael
it took him to
Cera.
get everybody
I do
together?
I do like how
2
clever-
hours.
2 hours.
2 whole hours.
Yeah. I mean, if you put an argument to say who's more charming, Gideon in this one or Scott,
Well, yeah.
I give it to Gideon.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
evil, but he's charming evil,
Uh-huh.
like most evil people are.
Him or Chris Evans.
He
I
looks
mean-
like this one.
Yeah.
Chris Evans was
How
so
did
He's
you
fucking
funny.
hilarious,
I was
this
like
film.
that the whole time. That seemed.
I don't know.
Hey man, I'm just kidding.
His
you wanna
face
get...
had to be sore.
Oh, had to be, yeah. The Chris Evans is probably one of my
Also,
favorite
this
side
was,
characters.
Like right
in this
before
one.
the first Captain America movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It had
This
to be
is
before it.
before, yeah, because this was
think it was right before.
06.
Mhm.
And then
Wow.
Captain America probably wasn't until 11, 10.
Mhm.
Iron Man was 08, so probably
Yeah.
right around 2010, 2011. Avengers is 2012. Yes. Anyways, so
I think Superbad was like 07 or 08 too.
yeah, pretty early on that one. Yeah, so Scott, he's intentionally. I mean, but here's the thing: he really is intentionally a character that we're not meant to like. Like,
Yeah.
True, because he has, Knives Chow.
yeah, he has Knives, he's consistently leading on and not like being a grown up.
Let's talk about how much of a delight
Knives is.
I freaking love Knives.
She is
Yeah.
way too good to be in this
She's
movie.
so good.
And way too good to be with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like her being in this is also like very much points out that this piece, modern audience, no.
Yeah.
It misses
Like,
its
there's
beat.
there's
Yeah.
like so many just like race comments
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
that would not go over well
Yeah.
at all.
How quick the times change, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that old of a movie.
No,
but
it's
No.
really not.
I
But
mean,
they're
you know,
also...
we can say that, but the reality is, it's actually really old because
It's
we're
almost
really
20
old.
years old.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. I
like
think-
it is old. It's an old movie now.
Wow.
I just don't think that they were too afraid to go there with it anyways. I mean, this movie was firing so
This
fast
movie's 15 years old.
with the insults and with some of the dialogue that you're just like, wait a minute, was that a slur? Okay, never mind.
Whoa,
We're on to the
yeah.
next.
We're
Like,
moving on.
already
We're
the
moving
next.
on. We're
Yeah.
moving on. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah,
know.
she's a good character.
Yeah. She was hilarious.
The funny thing is that I don't find much of the band to be particularly enjoyable. Like, there's
Kim.
Kim,
Yeah.
who's just perpetually angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy from Perks and the guy from...
Yeah, there's the guy from Perks, and then there's Young Neil.
Yeah.
Right.
Young
Neil-
Neil is him.
Young
yeah.
Neil's pretty funny.
Right.
I liked the main guy in the band too, how he just like kept having a meltdown every time he was
Yeah.
about to go on stage.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny for some reason.
Well,
Luckily,
pretty much every time he showed up, it was like cutting from one scene to the next, and
Yes.
he was suddenly like framed
Yeah.
very close, just freaking out.
Yeah, and I loved that.
for this to be basically centered around the band, I thought the band kind of got the least amount of screen time,
By
which was
far.
good
Oh, yeah.
because of like their development wasn't really all that impressive anyway. But
They're more plot devices than characters.
yeah,
at
you
that
got more
point,
of his
right?
roommate than you got of
Which
anybody.
is
I
the
love
right
his
call
roommate.
because
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's like calling his sister all
The
the time.
sister
Yeah.
and the roommate cracked me up.
How do you do this, Walter?
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Garlic bread makes you fat is still like a pretty high like.
Why is that
It's
such
one of
a
my
weird
favorite
word?
lines. Yeah,
That
bro,
was
honestly.
so
Bread
good.
makes
That
me
one's
fat.
quoted
What?
all the time today.
Is
Yeah.
it?
I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
I've never seen that meme. Miriam said the same thing. She was like, "That's the only line I remember from that movie." It's like,
Yeah.
It's like, because it's a banger line, and it's the right feeling. Because I swear I eat so much garlic bread, and I'm like, I don't get it.
yeah,
No, I think that this movie. So I want to hit some of the things that I typically enjoy, but I think to your guys' points, there's a fair amount of criticisms, but we'll balance it out a little bit because Scott Pilgrim, aka Michael Cera, is a really easy one to just pick on this one.
Mhm.
I think, and we've already hammered pretty effectively that the colorful side cast on this one. I mean, side cast / main cast for the most part, because we got Ramona, who objectively relative
Miss
to
Clementine.
I mean, relative to a lot of other people, are pretty chill.
Yeah.
We're still on manic pixie dream girl stuff, but she's on the other end of the spectrum, right? Like,
yeah.
she's on the low energy side of the manic pixie side of things with it. But
she has the hair, but not the attitude.
she does, right?
She doesn't back up the hair with enough manic pixie dream girl energy.
Yeah, she comes off as a typical
Well, she
Pacific
rollerblades through
Northwesterner.
snow.
That's
Right.
true.
You know?
It's
It just
true.
magically melts.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, have you
And
seen Mary
she's-
Elizabeth Winstead?
She is pretty magical, so I'll give her that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's definitely a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah, I mean, she did it.
You
Oh,
seen
she was
that hair?
dated the girl that
right,
one time.
it's the hair.
Right. The pacing on this film, I just thoroughly enjoy. I'm with us on the editing
is
and pacing.
fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And which covers a lot though, because they do cover 7 evil exes, and they do have a fair amount of little segments each along the way with it.
Yeah, you definitely think that they're just gonna stumble over one or something along the way, but they do all get their proper screen time.
But you got the twins.
The twins get double.
But how
yeah.
good of a scene was it?
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
okay.
yeah.
I will say that here's relative to the like the big scheme of it all. I'll say that the twins were not bad, but a low point in the movie for me.
It wasn't
Yeah.
the best. but,
Because,
yeah.
and to be fair, that has more to do with probably what they were given, and B, who they were playing. Because up until this point, we're getting Chris Evans, Brie Larson, this, we're getting
Mae Whitman.
yeah,
Also, yeah.
we're getting this whole roster, and then we just get the twins, and it's a fine fight, like it's cool little band like performance thing. But then it's like, all right, and then we're going back up to like girl
There's,
getting
no
this.
speaking lines, I think.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah,
But
they
you
don't
also
really-
got the most animation from that moment
That's
because
true.
Scott's like eyes turn green and then the big monster comes out and it's just a monster brawl.
Mhm.
And I thought that was neat. And it was the second to last fight too. So it's like there was a certain sort of build up.
Yeah,
to,
it's the low before the big
Yes.
ramp, right?
I thought the only out of place battle might have been the very first one against, I think his name was Matthew, and it turned into like a pirate, like not burlesque but like a musical.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
With
felt
his, like demon
Right.
yes.
backup singer.
Uh-huh.
I saw the
Pilgrim.
trivia. It is based on like a Bollywood.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
it had to be
yeah.
like something
It's-
very Indian
it-
Bollywood
yeah.
style.
Yeah, it felt very Bollywood, which
Right.
I liked.
Yeah.
I always liked that.
See, that was good use of culture in this film, whereas poor
Knives
Knives.
Chow.
Poor Knives.
Yeah, poor Knives got the Cho Chang treatment. you know?
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah. We
feel
thought
like-
it was charming then, and then kind of like J.K. Rowling, we're like, wait, is this actually racism? Spoiler.
Should we not like this?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It is funny, in reunions, she didn't come back to read her lines, I don't recall.
Really?
So, yeah, so a little while back, I think they did like the 10-year reunion. It was right after 2020. Maybe it was a little bit after then, because it would have been like 2010. Anyway, it's not the point. But they had a reunion thing where they were all together, and it was during COVID because they all did it like through like a big Zoom call, right? But they had all the cast come back like 10 years later, and they all read through like all their parts, which was really cool because you got to see just most of these really famous people just be like, oh yeah, I'll read through, and they just script read like the entire film, like the whole video itself is
That's
like an hour 30
Yeah.
I like script reads.
yeah.
That's really fun.
of doing it. It just brought a different energy to it. But I was thinking back
It's
and I was
fun.
like, I don't think
I hate
Knives.
them. They're awful.
Yeah.
Community did that during COVID. And
Yeah.
I was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Usually I'm not here for it, but this one was charming, and seeing little tiny stories that would come out where
Maybe,
they.
maybe ones on purpose are not fun, but watching an actual table read for like before
Right.
they've done the show,
Yeah.
like I watched one
Mm.
for Scrubs and that was really fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's
I
the
could
first
see-
time that they were reading the jokes too.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I love.
Yeah, that's very different.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
Well,
he's
that's what I was
talking about.
imagining.
Yeah, this was. I mean, very clearly they knew and loved the script, and they got together to all hang out again. Because at this point, many of these people have gone on to be quite large.
Yeah. Very.
Speaking of the Marvel properties, about 4 out of 5 of these people are all
True.
Marvel people
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I think as far as the pacing goes, I know we were talking about how fast it was and how it was, floated pretty well with everyone. But I think that him like just randomly like phasing out and just kind of gaining consciousness again, just randomly throughout the beginning of this movie is almost jarring. I didn't like that
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, like
Why is he out of it? Like,
Well,
Right.
to me, it's just them constantly like putting pressure on the idea that this is all just like one big long dream segment kind of
Mhm.
thing.
or that he has like responsibilities or something. Like I couldn't put my finger on it because like that was around the time where they were like, you should really break up with Chow. You should really break up with Knives or whatever because you obviously have this girl that you're pining after. But I don't know. I just didn't understand like why it was honestly too fast at the very beginning for what they were trying to figure out. You don't
I
think
liked
so?
it. I liked it.
Granny, he didn't need much.
It was,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm.
It was good. I liked the fast pace.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it made it confusing in the beginning as to whether or not you were just watching like some random dream segment. And
Yeah,
it was gonna
because there
go
were
back to
moments.
being normal or like what was really going on.
Yeah.
And I don't like the "it's all a dream" premise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ever
Like what could be
either.
real? Yeah.
So that also was something that annoyed me, and at least it didn't continue to happen.
True.
But I do think it was not it was not worth doing and really did nothing in service of the movie.
She also fell for him incredibly fast. Like from the moment where he
Oh,
talked to her at
yeah.
the party.
Yeah, well, that's why it's just like, this is just
it
a
has to be a
fucking
dream. Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to be a dream because
Yeah.
why is he talking about Pac-Man and completely missing his shot, and then she delivers the package immediately
Yeah.
and is just fawning over him, and now they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
I remember thinking that the chemistry of that felt really off because it did feel
because it's
organic. how
Michael
quick.
Cera.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, who could love Michael Cera, says Nate? But
It opened up some good dialogue between them, though, because one of my favorite jokes, and it wasn't even a joke, but she was like, "Were you the Pac-Man guy?" And he was like, "No, I've never heard of him." Anyways,
Yeah.
and you're just like, all right, that
Right.
was smooth, I guess.
some of the, as unlikable as he may be in this film, he does have some pretty solid
There's a few
lines.
good lines.
Right.
Like, I think Michael Cera is good at what he did in this film. I
I
just
do.
think he's written as such an unlikable
Yeah,
character,
Cera's
but he
on
does a
me.
good job doing it.
He's a character that only grows up a little bit at the very end of the film, and we have to watch him be awful for all the rest of the film. And by that nature, it's a pretty, like, that's our main character and focal point, and it's just like, this fucking guy.
I kind of wanted him to stay awful, to be honest. I didn't want him to
That's
grow
what she
by
deserves.
the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like him and I didn't want to feel like I was supposed to ever like him.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm still not gonna like him even if he grows as a person.
Do you guys like Ramona off the bat?
I don't know.
Because
Does she really change?
once we get through the whole part of the plot, I think
She's
you're
pretty-
right.
she's
She's pretty
staying
much
the
the same
whole time.
person.
She stays the
yeah.
exact same.
She's objectively the same, and even whenever they have a breakup, she's just like, oh, you're just another ex, and she just kind of keeps on going, doing her thing, which was the only thing that full circle makes the beginning feel a little bit more, like, reasonable to me. Because at first, it's like kind of just, like, no chemistry. But then we're seeing how often, like, on just on a whim, Ramona's like, sure, I'll date you. I'll be involved
That is
in
true.
you."
I mean,
Right.
if she's dating these other 7 people that are terrible, then, like,
Right.
all right, yeah, that does
I
check
kinda wish
out.
If he had played a slightly more likable version of this character, it'd also make the end where he's battling himself.
Yeah.
Right.
But he doesn't because he's just a nice guy. Make a little bit more sense.
Sure.
You're like,
Yeah.
no, fuck you. You are not a nice guy. You've been terrible.
Because like those ideas are very fun. Like, oh, and it's the final battle against yourself, but you just get along.
No,
it's you.
I'll catch you
Yeah.
later. Yeah,
that's
for sure.
fun.
Quick
Right.
coffee later?
Yeah, yeah,
Him and
yeah,
Gideon are
yeah.
like besties.
It,
Right.
he could have been a likable character, and this would have been a better movie.
I think from what I've heard, though, the Netflix redo of this one, he
the
is
anime.
like more likable in this one, like because
Wait,
it's strictly
they already
this
remade this movie?
It's a series.
It's
and
a
on
series,
Netflix.
right?
Okay.
It's not.
But
It's
it
not
is
totally
way
one for one.
different.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Price about it last night. Actually,
Yeah.
he said he's watched it and it's very different. The storyline.
Correct. Yeah. So I think it's truer to the original one, where this isn't again adaptation, where
Yeah.
the one that they did on Netflix is just like
Have any of you read the comic?
No.
I've not.
But I do know that the anime, the Netflix one, has like 80% of the people that come back.
Yeah,
So, like,
a lot of them
Chris
do come back
Evans
for the
is
roles.
there,
Yeah.
like, all these
Oh,
people. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's an animated one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's animated all the way through, right?
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, so it's the little, like, whenever they show, like, the comic art or
Yeah.
whatever, and the little playful, it's that all the way through.
Oh, okay, cool. And they had most of the actors come back and do
Most
the
of
voice
them.
acting.
Yeah,
Okay,
most
because I was about to say, like, you know, not to
Because
sound like an old
otherwise-
person, but they'll never replicate this because the cast was so good.
No,
but,
they did. Money.
Oh, they did with
Money
the
always
same
works.
cast.
And,
Yeah.
I
Got
mean,
it.
to be fair, if you liked it enough and the pacing, I mean, see what they could do with 8 episodes.
Right.
Yeah,
You
I'm
might be
sure.
worn out by the end, or you might love it. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
Is this movie cute?
Cute?
this
Yeah.
movie is adorable a lot.
In what
What do
way?
you mean adorable
What's
or
cute about it?
Like, what do you mean cute?
I think all of the characters, like how they interact with each other, like we were talking about, like the roommate and Anna Kendrick's,
Mhm.
you know,
Okay.
or
Relationship.
Anna Kendrick brings
Okay.
her boyfriend to the bar.
Yeah.
That shit
and
was
then the
funny.
roommate,
So funny.
like,
Yes,
steals
not
your
again.
boyfriend.
Yeah, no,
that was
I
so
didn't
funny.
really like that particular part, but I did like their banter.
It's
Yeah.
just it a lot of the chemistry and a lot of the
Who hurt you,
banter.
Jill?
Yeah, seriously, Joey, do you ever laugh?
Yeah.
No, but there are just a lot of little parts in this movie that I do appreciate a lot more than, honestly, just the main story. I think the main story, you didn't even have to have him, like, cheating on, you know, Knives Chow. Like,
Right.
you could just have her get slided some other way, you know, and
Just
it's...
a quick dump.
Yes,
for a girl
for no
immediately.
reason, like, with no explanation, that would have been okay, but it's...
I think that they wanted to keep a little bit of, like, teen drama essence to it. I mean, you could tell, I mean, clearly you
just
pick...
evilness, I guess.
You're right. I mean, you pick Michael Cera, and Michael Cera has that permanent teen drama as an adult, like, vibe to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, the movie starts with Scott Pilgrim was dating a high schooler.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for
or-
half a second, I was
Uh-huh.
like, this movie is not going to ask me to believe Michael Cera is a middle schooler.
That's true.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
was my first thought.
No.
Not that he was older,
Yeah.
but that he was supposed to be playing a middle schooler. And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, he's dating a high schooler.
Yeah.
And I was
Nah.
like, oh, no, he's a pervert.
And it was
Yeah,
super
exactly. And
Yeah.
everyone he knows is like, bruh, you
Bro, fuck
can't.
up.
Yeah.
Because he's like clearly like 21, 22
He
or
said he's
something.
22.
Yeah.
22, right? Yeah, yeah.
And he's telling
that's
everyone
such
he
an awkward
knows.
age. Like,
Yeah.
you get even a little bit older, and like that
Didn't
gap
you do
is
that,
completely valid.
Yeah.
No, no,
You
I
dated
never.
high school when you were at high school?
I dated a girl that
I've done that.
Was she hot?
college.
Yeah,
when I
okay.
was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, so she was the Scott Pilgrim and
Yeah.
he was Knives.
Were you as cute as, you know,
That's
and,
true.
and like, and fun
Uh-huh.
to be around?
Oh yeah.
That's true. I've always thought cute Asian whenever I look at Nathan.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Something about him.
Had all my goth.
Yeah.
garb on.
That's true. It would have been a pretty fitting, like, one,
No,
almost
she
one
was
for
in
one.
she was in some kind of a uniform or whatever.
Yeah.
She was
Oh
in some
yeah,
school.
the Catholic school uniform.
Catholic school uniform,
I
right.
love that
And
they
Anna
pointed
Kendrick
that
was
out.
like, "Are you shitting me?"
Yeah.
And Aubrey Plaza kept getting like blurped out.
Right, she just
Oh,
from
gets
yeah.
stuff.
half of her script. Yeah, and I think even whenever
She
they were
kept
doing
working
script
at
reading-
every location. She was like, "Some of us work for a living, Scott. Some
Yeah.
people that are in between jobs wouldn't understand."
where don't you work? Like, yeah, Aubrey Plaza did. I like the background lore. It
is.
It continually keeps being the funniest thing, right? Where it's just like Aubrey Plaza works literally everywhere. Scott's so entitled. Scott sucks. Scott's a bum. He lives here, but then it's just
His
like
roommate is all over the place.
His
The
roommate's
fact
all
that he
over.
and his roommate share a
Share
bed.
the
Sarah
bed
Bed is
with
Pete.
both lovers,
Right.
You know,
Well, and it
Yeah.
also like pans through the room. And it's just like
And-
this is his, this is his.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
Scott.
our house with you.
Mhm.
What if here?
Fine.
What in here is
Sure is.
Nathan's? That over there. Some of those.
Oh, actually, this couch is Jill's.
Yeah,
so-
We know.
Yeah, we know.
Couch that
We
you
know.
made.
Yeah, we know.
But basically everything else in here is
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aside from the couch,
that
everything's
one
Jill's.
poster
You see, the
there.
coffee table used to be mine, then someone just decided to shove it in the attic and buy a new one.
Well,
So this isn't yours.
No.
Yours
But-
is in the attic.
Can
Yeah.
yours, you know,
Yours is in
can
the
yours
attic.
do that?
it does tricks.
It does true.
Yeah.
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 That tracks. Also, I wanted to point out because we hadn't talked about Brie Larson and then the vegan boyfriend on this one.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
The vegan boyfriend was great. Also, is this the reason you guys actually hate Brie Larson?
Wait, you
don't
guys hate Brie
I don't
Larson?
hate Brie
I
Oh,
like
Larson.
Brie
Nathan doesn't
Larson.
like Brie Larson.
I didn't like her in Miss Marvel or whatever, Captain Marvel.
But does
Captain
it,
Marvel.
Oh no, you haven't
Yeah.
seen this movie.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
I love Brie Larson in this. I typically enjoy Brie Larson.
I love Brie Larson.
She's very pretty.
And
She
I
purses
was
lots of
more
thirst traps
edging on the
too.
fact that Nathan had seen this movie previously, and like this was the reason that he doesn't like.
Post
it.
Marvel,
Oh.
she like since she's been in a Marvel property, it feels like Brie Larson's gone turned on a heel, and now she's like very, very disliked, generally speaking.
I mean, that's what happens to anyone
'Cause
when they
she
get famous
mainlined a
enough.
movie,
Yeah.
so people get a hater now.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know if you guys, not to make it, you guys realize we're in America. Women can't be powerful. We keep telling you at every possible
yeah,
chance.
no, last Tuesday we kind of got that.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments below what you think.
Taylor Swift is pretty powerful.
Okay, she's the one exception so far. I don't know any other powerful
But
women.
also, think about how hated she is.
That's true.
And, yeah,
I generally don't like her, and I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah, maybe.
It's
Yeah.
See? There
a
you
side
go.
of programming, you know? No, I can tell you why. It's because I think that she has an ego complex, and anytime anybody else tries to go up, she immediately re-releases one of her tracks. That bothers me.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh,
a
called out.
strange
But
timing.
right. Let Chapel Roan breathe. You know, let Sabrina Carpenter have her moment. Anyways,
She's very supportive of Sabrina.
now because she serves her, she
Yeah,
makes
I
her
was
money.
gonna say, I'm sure Sabrina
She's-
has like given her a positive shout out.
Yeah,
Therefore,
well,
And
no, they're on
Sabrina
tour together,
opened
they're
for
under
her
Nathan.
on tour, and then
Okay, she opened
perfect.
yeah,
under.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what does
Yeah,
the opener
I
do?
Yeah, what?
It plays before the big
before
show.
before the show
It
actually
kinda sets it
starts.
up, right?
So you can tell there's like a power dynamic.
Yeah, there is a certain boss.
I'm
aspect.
hearing it.
Yeah.
Is anybody else hearing it?
Yeah, I hear that.
Reaffirming my own thought.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Swifties are going to cancel us. We're going to lose all our voters on this.
yeah, really. Like, come on, guys.
Guys, we're
Don't-
trying to get
don't
to
listen
420
them.
before zero.
Don't listen to them. We love Taylor.
We'll cut
or at
this.
least we love Taylor.
Typically enjoy her. But anyways, I do enjoy Brie Larson more than Taylor Swift.
Okay.
And I really actually, I specifically enjoy her in this film. This actually may be one of her favorite, her favorite.
It's her
roles
favorite.
My favorite roles for her. There we go. God, it's my
But the
brain is
vegan
mush.
boyfriend was great.
The
Yeah.
vegan boyfriend was great.
Literally Superman.
I love
Yeah.
making
But-
fun of vegans.
Well, and the fact that he's like he really only accidentally didn't lose his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like he ate a fucking chicken parm and it's just like, what? That's not vegan?
That's not vegan? I love it.
Oh, Thomas Jane.
Yeah, Thomas
The
Jane.
Punisher was
Right.
the vegan police.
Yeah, he was.
He came in, he was one of them.
I forget about Thomas.
That was one of the cameos I was trying
Yeah.
to remember earlier.
Right.
I was trying to figure out who the vegan police were. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but they
I don't
were
know
supposed
who
to
one
You
be-
get
of
3
was.
strikes. What about this one? Oh, come on. You know.
Yeah.
I do love the art. I will say that part in general still remains to be like a timeless bit of comedy to me
Mhm.
because it really is. They're like the bargaining phase of being vegan. You're like, oh come on, what about this? You know, like
Please?
what about no? Yeah.
Mm.
That joke's so fucking good, and just seeing the hair deflate.
Yeah.
You know, all the energy going away.
Yep.
So
good.
that one, that warms my heart. That whole area. Also, the song, that song is the best song on the soundtrack.
The Brie
in my
Larson
opinion.
song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked it
Yeah.
after this.
Right.
I love
Like
it when
that-
they
that
let
song
Brie Larson
stands on
sing.
its
Yeah,
own.
it's metric, right?
Yeah, it's metric.
Yeah, it's metric.
Yeah.
Black Sheep. Yeah, there we go.
Black Sheep.
I had to get there on that one. But Brie Larson's version is still pretty good. They even have like a the Brie Larson version on Spotify. I don't hate it.
Oh, nice.
Hannah thinks it's not as good. That's probably right, but it's still good. Anyways, so
That's probably why I actually know this song. Because I was like, I don't think I've ever listened to anything from this, but it's like
it's a metric
it's
cover.
song. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Right.
she yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I was
Featured.
thinking, like, oh, is this song from this movie? Like, I know this. This is a good song.
It is a
Yeah,
good song.
the song did sound familiar, and I didn't know the song.
Yeah.
Never seen the movie, but I was like, yeah,
Popular indie track.
this
Yeah.
happened. This song happened.
At this point, I feel like it's like the best I can describe it is like the newer version of like Maps from the Yeah. It's like it's
Yeah.
one of those indie like songs that it was like of the time, and then it just kind of keeps creeping forward as like, oh, this still remains to be a really good song, and it keeps ending up in like playlists.
Like it'll be on a
rotations.
Kia commercial in
Yeah.
like 4 years.
Exactly.
You'll hear it on repeat for like 4 months straight. And
Uh-huh.
you're like, oh yeah, that was a 16-year-old song.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Any closing thoughts before we get into the shape of the movie?
I just want to know, was this movie the nerd male fantasy?
I think it was very male oriented.
It was. I think it was super geek oriented. I remember thinking, and when this came out, so funny thing is like my second college girlfriend, we met while we ended up having our first date being this film, and she was like super geeky on that one, and it was just kind of like mission accomplished. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those ones where it's like if you were a geek looking for another geek to take to a movie, this was the movie, right? And like great date movie in that way. So I mean I don't know, it worked for me I guess. So I can't say that no. I mean yeah, geek male accomplishment. So
Was this movie supposed to be the male version of another movie we talked about
We
recently?
male
talked-
version of
I
So
couldn't remember
500
which
Days of
one.
Summer.
having
That
never seen this movie, my theory was that it was going to be somehow the guy equivalent of 500 Days of Summer, and I would
Oh.
say that in a way, I feel like 500 Days of Summer was like, I don't want to say the male fantasy, but for girls, but that's kind of what I mean.
I don't-
Like, showing how, like, guys think
Oh,
about
how guys
relationships
think about
and
relationships from a male
idealize-
perspective,
Yeah, but like in a very girl movie.
in a way that's advocating for women's perspective.
Yeah, whereas
Yeah.
this
I can
was
see that.
like,
because
Yeah.
for me,
the
it's
guy
like,
version.
I thought 500 Days did that part better, just because it was very much like it was those transitions between like day 422 to like 120, and then he would just hit you with it. Summer fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate her.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And it's like this movie's he's just oozing
Yeah.
over Ramona Flowers the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, there is
Valid.
there's hardly any like, oh, maybe she's not that great. Maybe I shouldn't have to defeat all of her boyfriends.
Yeah.
No,
There's
yeah.
like
there-
one moment of
There's
that.
never doubt, right?
No,
So
hardly.
it's I think in like theory it
Yeah.
could be like in premise, right? Because you're sitting here and
Right.
saying this is like at its core a young adult love drama about two kind of like very human but mostly kind of sucky people, you know?
Yeah.
And like you could make the argument that it's like similar in that way, but I think
It's not really that similar, and I did
Right, but
say
in
that
execution, it gets
having
totally
not
lost, right? Yeah.
having not seen the film. I also think Ramona is definitely the actual manic pixie dream girl that people think about when they disparage those kind of movies.
Right.
Whereas 500 Days of Summer and your one that you like a lot,
Eternal
Eternal
Sunshine.
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah,
are,
Eternal
like,
Sunshine
kind
and
of
Summer are like.
deconstructing it more and like showing that the Manic Pixie Dream Girl actually has depth, whereas
They
this
feel like
one's
it's
like,
it's
nah.
a thought out
I know
like
which one I'm
satire.
picking of the three. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it as a criticism. I'm just saying it's
That's a
funny that
question.
this is like, oh yeah.
Answer it then.
Hold on, let's pose it to the so
We've
the question.
so you
Watched
get
the full
of the
trifecta
we've watched the full
of
trifecta of
these.
Manic Pixie Dream Girls. So we've got 500 Days of Summer.
You could even put Tank Girl in there if you wanted.
And you really could. Okay, we
I
got
mean,
five.
I'm choosing Tank Girl.
Yeah.
That's our question.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 500 Days of Summer. We got Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. and we
Summer,
got-
Clementine.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah,
Clementine
you
and
didn't
Ramona.
watch that one.
Ah,
Me and Nathan
darn.
watched that one.
You guys can discuss.
I mean, short answer is going to be Ramona. Like, no questions asked.
Oh, like as your favorite Manic Pixie Dream Girl?
I will say, I mean, if I have to choose which one to like hang my hat on,
Yeah.
Ramona.
Yeah,
Flowers.
which girl are you going for?
Yeah, she's the right vibe across the board on that one. Yeah, but I will say that like more interesting. Summer's probably the most interesting one on here.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely pick Summer,
Yeah.
obviously.
Summer's a
But-
girl's girl. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Summer's
Like,
a girl's girl.
that tracks
Exactly.
for you guys, alright.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense.
Nathan, are you gonna split the hair on Clementine? Like,
You're not gonna pick Clementine over Tank Girl?
Nah, I
Nah.
think Nathan goes for Ramona.
No,
No.
she's too bland.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll take her.
There's not a lot to her.
yeah, like
Yeah, but
she's
what is
got-
to her
well,
is
no,
very
they
pretty.
both-
and
hair.
also-
They both
yeah.
have that hair, so I
Yeah.
guess Clementine or
Clementine's
Ramona.
much more of a person.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
For
it-
sure.
But Clementine
Not
would
in
be
a
a
great
Clementine
way.
is really the
Crazy
middle.
person.
Yeah.
Clementine is really the middle between it, right? Like,
Yeah.
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 I mean that to me, I just think that's a better movie in general if we're talking about between all of them, because I think it's a much more interesting idea, the whole thing of like realizing the mistake of wanting to like wipe away the slate of your memories of a person, even though it's like, yeah, they're not all going to be good, but you don't want to just completely get rid of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on that merit alone, I find that one more interesting
Sure.
and find that character a little better than any of these others.
Okay, follow-up question. Who's the best Manic Pixie Dream boy? Jim Carrey, Michael Cera,
Oh,
or,
gosh.
or
Sarah's
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
last.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Cera's at the bottom.
Everybody agrees. He's
Jim
the least-
Carrey- seen the other
Jim
one,
Carrey's
don't play the
also not good.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Way
Tom.
up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going with Tom and
Like
Summer.
he's not good, but man, Jim Carrey's character is just he's basically like an older, more mature version of
Michael
Michael
Cera.
Cera.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Generally, the guy that chases the Pixie Dream Girl is a bad.
Not
Guy.
a great dude.
Wow.
It's not great. He's idealizing someone who's not.
That's
Yeah.
not
Just a
real.
person.
Yeah, it's a projection of what they want on something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is that the common theme that we're actually seeing here? Is that Manic Pixie Dream Girls are objectively just like the personification of what we want, but not really anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But here
That's
people,
kind of the
it's,
point.
it's the idea of what people think they want, but not
Right.
the reality
Yeah.
of what they actually want.
So,
yeah.
yes, I know that, but then objectively, wouldn't Ramona be like the definitive one in this case?
Right.
Then? Because she's the most
Because
like
she has
blank
the least
slate.
depth, and she's
Yeah.
the most, like...
Summer is very fleshed out. Clementine
Yeah.
is slightly less fleshed out, but
Like,
more
Ramona's
fleshed out.
not actually very mysterious, but also she's just kind of there to be idolized.
Yeah. And the fact that, like... I mean, even though she's not that great, she's so far out, like, above Michael Cera's
Yeah.
league,
She's
and
like
yet
a normal
she's,
girl.
like...
Right.
You know, she's falling for him and whatever. Or, I don't know if I would say
This
go
is
so
like
far as
for
to
Mary
say
Lou
falling
Wilson, I
for
can't see
him,
past the
actor.
but
I can't
like
see
agreeing
no,
to
I
be
can't
with
see
him for a time.
Even Brie Larson in this
So,
movie, especially.
that-
gets it, you know?
She's fine.
That's what
Yeah.
tells me this is like the male fantasy, because like a guy like him could get with a girl like her.
Well, and even like during the party scene, like when they're interviewing all the people, like, oh yeah, I heard she's this. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's. I heard she went to Italy, or I don't know.
It's all more about the lore that we don't see versus the person,
Yeah.
which shows you
Yeah.
how often they're just projecting their own. Like, we want her to be great, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. See, this is incredibly fitting for the girl I dated at this time too. This is spot on.
Were you projecting everything on her?
100%.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Oh my god, yeah, goddess. You know,
Okay,
at the
please
time.
tell me she had colorful hair.
She did. Most definitely did. She was a natural blonde, and you think that wasn't 7 different colors while we were dating?
Oh, amazing.
We dated 8 months for the record, so it was one of different flavor. And every time she got mad, you know, went more orange or red. You know, so
Okay.
you had to change it up on this one.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not going to talk about my college ex-girlfriend and my Manic Pixie Dream history. I will not be called out for it on today's episode.
Too late.
Yeah.
If you dated dated Dylan in college? Comment below.
We know you're out there. We know you're here.
Honest?
And tell us what color your hair is now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Alright, let's get to these shapes.
Yeah, let's get to the
Jill?
shape of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fit.
Is it curvy?
It's fit.
Is it a fat ass?
Yeah.
It's got, yeah, okay.
Like most of Dylan's ex-girlfriend.
What?
Did it eat too much garlic bread?
Yeah. That's so funny. I fucking love that line. Annabeth.
No, it's fit. I
Yeah.
think it's perfectly fit.
Uh-huh. Nathan.
It's fat.
Ah,
It's
garlic bread.
fat.
Garlic bread fat or
Yeah,
fat?
the like back to reality segments do not serve this movie in any way other than to make you question the like whether or not he's just having a dream, and I think it makes the movie worse for doing that. It abandons that also, like,
Very quickly.
Mhm.
well, I don't know if I'd even say quickly, like probably 30-40 minutes in, you don't see that at all anymore. You're just in the
I don't even think
world,
it's that far
in
in.
the state that it presents it from that point forward.
Yeah.
Which it should have just done that the whole time. I am very annoyed by those little segments that were pulling you out of this narrative, and I think they only hurt the movie.
Because that's kind of how the Spotless Mind was too. Because like that scene, like when he's underneath the kitchen
I don't
table
know
and
what
stuff,
we're
like
talking
it was a
about.
lot of that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
But that's more
The
of a
calibrating
No, I
dreamy
think
movie.
all that's good.
Because
like,
it's a
all that's
dreamy
still,
movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that whole
It sets the
movie
premise of being
is
a-
inside of like
His
a
head.
dream-like state. I mean,
Right.
it's not a dream; it's all inside somebody's memories, but
Uh-huh.
still,
Yeah.
I think that's very different from what this was doing.
I want to be contrarian and just say it's thin, because I could.
But do you mean it?
I don't. No, it's fit. I don't know. I don't add. I don't subtract. I mean, if it is, it's not very much on either end.
Yeah, this movie's very fit and it's got a very fast metabolism.
Mhm.
It is churning quickly.
Yeah, it is.
Uh,
It's on the treadmill and it's on at a speed less than 5 the
Yes.
entire film. Like,
Yes. I'll back Nathan up on that a little bit. The beginning third of this movie, I don't even think it's that long, to be honest. It's not very much. It might be the first 20-30 minutes tops.
Right.
I wish they could have redone it a little bit, and I guess that was their way to develop just how shitty he was and just how, like, Naj Chow was, like, kind of not supposed to be in the picture, you know, or, like, his timing was just that bad. But after they established her villain arc, the movie really just was smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, she went after young Neil, little Neil,
Yeah.
whatever his name was.
Young Neil to make him
Neil.
jealous, and then
Yeah.
she's like fighting with
Yeah.
Ramona throughout the tail end of the film.
Yeah, like it was totally fine after, like Nathan said, you weren't getting jarred from him, like being unconscious and like going scene to scene, just not knowing where he was at in the world. Besides that, I do think it was very fit.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
Top it off with scores. Going back to Jill.
The thing is, I don't really like the main story of this movie, which is the main part of the movie.
Yeah, it's true. You
I
do
like
hate love.
the banter. I like the side characters. It's well done. Like, I don't know, I kind of liked the ending and stuff. But I didn't really care about Michael Cera or his problems. So that means the movie gets a lower score.
He did have problems.
He did.
And
At least
I'm going
7.
to give it a 5.5.
5.5.
Wow.
I'm sensing a theme here when you give your reviews.
What's that?
I don't care about these people or
But
their
I like
lives.
the movie
Yeah.
everywhere else.
Yeah.
There
See,
is
there are
a
movies
very
that I like,
constant
though, where I
theme.
do like the main story. And
Yeah.
It's just the last two?
Oh, at least
Two
the
or
last 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
What was the
You
one-
didn't
You
what was the
took
care.
fourth
Price's
one?
role, is what you did.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're
she's
the-
giving praise.
you're the
I don't
hater.
give I don't give Price scores.
No,
Get,
no, she'll never go
Okay.
that low.
It was like
But
this
I'll tell you what
movie,
Price would say.
Raw, and-
Give it 7 seasons, is what Price would say.
True, because he did
I
start
hear
off
you.
at 3 or 4.
Yeah, he was on
and
3,
then
4,
he was
5.
giving 1s and 0s.
And then he committed to
I
saying,
didn't like
I'm
anything
going to
about
liberally
Prey.
use zeros.
Prey was just
Yeah,
garbage.
you didn't like Prey. You
Thought it was
didn't
great.
like 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, strong female
Yeah,
character.
I didn't like that.
Finally, a woman that I can appreciate.
Yeah.
And then
Strong
Jill
female
hates it.
lead, yeah.
Why? You know?
What?
Pray.
Pray.
Wait, is this? No, this isn't the last movie on the wheel. We have one more movie.
We got one more.
And
This
it's
is the
mine.
last one.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, I would be interested when we finish the whole wheel to see
If I have the lowest scores.
if Jill has the lowest.
I don't know.
score,
Nathan's gonna hit you
Nathan's
pretty
gonna-
hard the last couple.
and what
Yeah.
was her highest scoring movie that was not her own?
Okay.
Nathan's
I'm
bunching
the
a lot of
highest
these
scoring movie was
scores.
Nathan's movie. It was Bonsai.
Oh, Buckaroo
yeah.
Banzai,
Buckaroo
a
Banzai.
I
classic.
think that was the highest score I gave.
9 out of 10,
Probably.
right?
It was an 8.
Wow. Okay.
What did I give that movie? Did I give it an 8?
What do you give
No,
this movie,
you gave
Annabeth?
it
Yeah.
lower.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's a
okay.
good question.
Man, I always want to know what I gave other movies because now I'm just like, my scores are all over
You
the
can
place.
you can just
Yeah,
ask
there's a
Jason.
Hey, well, there's
I
five
know.
people picking movies though, so it's like
I know, but
your
my
movies are
scores,
gonna be all over the
my
place.
scores are all over the place compared to my own scores.
Oh,
I
so then
don't
that
have
means your
any
score,
kind of
your
metric.
your score metric is non-existent.
Yeah,
You just throw out a
Kinda, yeah.
feeling at the time,
yeah.
and you think that that's something, but
Well,
it's
you
really
guys have
nothing.
been doing this for multiple seasons and have
That's
honed
true.
your
To
score
be
metrics.
fair, I'm still convinced me and Mason are the only ones with actually grounded like perspectives on scores.
No.
Glad you
We've
said
thought
that.
about it. We've thought about it. What the scores
Are
mean?
you kidding me?
100% we
We're
have.
almost outnumbering them.
Nah.
It is
We
fair.
can
I
just
won't
get one
use
of them
anything
on
below a
board.
4.
I'm gonna give
That's
this.
not true. I've
ooh,
definitely gone below a 4.
I can't decide if I want to give this.
Go with the Ocho.
Just give it the 10.
It's not a 10.
See? Underappreciated. I was right all along.
Annabeth.
Suspense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
she's
It's
split
it's
hairs on
like
it.
stylistically, I do love this. This is really good, and for what it set out to do, it did it really well. I liked all the characters except for Michael Cera, and yeah, I'll give it an 8. It's a good movie.
Here comes the bunt.
I mean, I would like to like this movie.
There it is.
You know, it's got a lot of the kind of style that I typically would enjoy. It's got good music. It's got a lot of good ancillary characters. I hate the main story. I hate the main character. I don't really like the main female character that much either, because I don't think she's really doing anything to like hold up the weight of this movie. She's doing more than Michael Cera is for sure. Like she's
Yeah.
definitely a better character than he is at any point in this film, but not doing it. Like, and I do think it's very annoying the beginning where it's like doing the stuff where it's like almost going back to like a normal reality and just making you question like, you know, what's really going on here, because it does like a scene like that shortly before him like just being in her house and her just taking her clothes off
Yes,
and
that's
stuff.
what I was
It's like
gonna mention,
this
yeah.
is like such a fucking like just
It's a
he is
fantasy.
asleep.
Right.
He
Yeah.
is asleep
Yeah.
right now. And then
He'd
it
have
just
to be.
and then it just kind of keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it, like that sort of stuff, I think, did not help the movie. It shouldn't have been in the movie, and I would have given it a better score if it weren't in there. But it is, and I think I'm just gonna land at a 5 with it. Like maybe I could have gone lower even, but I think it's not bad. It's just it's got too many things that
Too many
problems that take
yeah.
it
too
away.
much.
Right. I thought he was going to go lower. Sorry, that's fine. I'll bring the score average up a little bit. I'm going to give this an 8.5. I really enjoyed this film. I think that Michael Cera doesn't bother me as much, which obviously skews the percents by quite a bit in this experience in the movie with it. I just frankly adore and love Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and this is maybe her favorite look. Like, not necessarily her favorite character.
It's her favorite look.
Yeah,
It's
her
Again,
favorite.
It's her
It's
favorite.
hers.
I prefer Cellar. Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Cellar one's pretty
Myself,
good,
yeah.
but then there's also Harrison Dola, which is her Star Wars character, and she's a Twilight, you know, the ones with the tentacle ones on that one,
really?
and that alien race. But not the point.
This
So,
is telling me a lot about Dylan right now.
Yeah.
What he's into.
God, I wish we could find some Freudian person to sell us more about this stuff. Anyway, so, no, I mean, I'm blinded by it, even though I will openly concede that I don't think Ramona's particularly a well-written character by any stretch of the means. She's kind of just, like, again, the blank canvas idol of our affections with it, and she gets to go by being mostly just really pretty. That That being said, it fucking worked on me, so mission accomplished. So, Michael Cera's not annoying enough for me to not see projections on my shelf, especially at the time when I was dating somebody in a very similar way. So I think in a lot of ways, I'll admit that there's probably nostalgia points for me where I think about it like, oh, I remember when I used to be that stupid, you know? So there's something about movies that remind you of a younger you, but lets you be able to work through that awkwardness instead of it just being cringe, you know? But also, I like a little cringe, so it doesn't bother me as much. Altogether, I just enjoy this thing. I think that the one thing we didn't talk about that I do enjoy is the diversity of action in this film. It's not just punch, fight, kick. You know, it's a lot of punch, fight, kick. But you get samurai stuff, you get the fights.
Seems like they spent a lot of money and time thinking of these scenes.
Right. The action pieces in general were pretty fun. And I think that this movie altogether is just like, if I had to oversimplify it, I'd just be like, quick-paced fun that I typically enjoy. So, 8.5, all the stylization, everything really lands for me. There's not much holding it back, but it's just also not more blowing me out of the water, other than the cast all being really fun. Mason.
So, I don't know why this part of the trivia stood out, but evidently Stacy Pilgrim, which is Anna Kendrick, she was wearing a name badge at some point, wherever she was working at the coffee shop or whatever. And evidently that name badge is the exact one that the director or the writer had feelings for back in the day.
Oh, that was their like,
that was their like
love interest,
flowers,
right?
Basically, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So they was like paying homage and making her Stacy Pilgrim for some reason. But anyways,
That's funny.
I've seen this movie 2 times now. I watched it a few years ago and I genuinely loved it. I was like, wow, this is so good. I can't believe it. How is this movie that good? I watched it a couple nights ago. And it is so in your face. I was telling Price yesterday, actually, that, like, you almost have to be in a mood to watch this movie because even if you, like, look away, it's still, like, catching your freaking
There's still
attention.
an epilepsy amount
Yes.
of, like, yeah.
It's like, I consider, like, word art. How it pops out at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, like, 3-dimensional.
It's a really good metaphor,
crazy.
actually. Yeah.
But all in all, it is a very good movie. I love Michael Cera. I think that he is a terrible human being
on this
in this
podcast.
movie.
Yeah,
he is
right.
so bad. There's few acts that I don't like by him, movies-wise, but I think I'm still going to land at an 8 also. I think that it's solid, but boy, I wouldn't want to watch this in anything besides like a decent to okay good mood. Because it's just like, I'm going to turn this movie off so fast if I'm in a bad mood.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bringing
Fuck off,
me up.
I don't want your energy.
Yes,
right.
It's going to turn me away so quickly I do like how in the beginning he was like talking about Knives Chow. He was like, yeah, we're about to hold hands. We almost held hands. he's actually fangirling over just the smallest things. And they're judging him so hard.
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah. Is there any need to spin the wheel?
Yes.
Yeah. We do gotta spin it.
I don't know what it's
Spin it.
gonna land.
We don't know which
That's true. We don't know what one slot it's gonna land on.
What's it gonna be?
I'm not trying too hard today.
You're not.
Okay, so it goes here. Title that rhymes.
Okay, we
I have
are
a guess.
watching. Oh yeah, I want to hear your guesses.
Is it Jeepers Creepers?
It is not.
Is it Hocus Pocus?
No.
Damn.
These are great guesses though.
These were thematic in October too.
Any other guesses?
Is it Punch Drunk Love?
That
Does that rhyme?
doesn't rhyme, but good
Let's
try.
act like it does.
Decent enough
this.
film. It's one of the better.
No.
No,
seen
we
that.
are watching Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Oh. This movie.
Okay.
Has anyone seen the movie?
It's got 2 like older girls as the leads, right?
I was about to say, this sounds really familiar.
I can't even remember
Never
who's
heard
in
of
it.
this.
Who is in
I
this
have
movie?
heard of this. I may have even watched it.
Really?
It's either that or San Junipero. Are they pretty much the same
Well,
thing?
San Junipero
Is an episode
like
of Black
an
Mirror.
episode of
I know
Black
the
Mirror.
I don't think
difference.
that's the same thing.
Yeah, but is it a lesbian love story? Because in which case it might just be.
I
the same.
mean, that, like, what are they, an exceptionally, you want to talk about something good, like,
San
if we ever,
Junipero's fantastic.
yeah, if we were to ever, like, watch
do
TV shows
episodes.
again,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we'd have to pick specific episodes. We couldn't just watch the
Yeah,
first 4.
like,
That, it
this
This
really made
one's
sense.
Kristen Wiig and Annie
So this is a
Mumolo.
straight up comedy.
Oh yeah, this is
Oh.
yeah.
You can move the wheel. We can't see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. So Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
I think I've just seen the trailer for this. I'm pretty sure I haven't watched this film. What year did it come out?
Recently.
I was going to say, like, 18?
No, it was.
19?
I think it was in the 2020s. Hang on, I'm looking
Wow.
it up again.
Big if true.
I'm also looking up where we can watch it.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below what you think. What year did this movie come out? An easy Google search will fix that problem for you. But...
It came out in 2021.
Ah, okay.
And it is on
Nowhere.
Apple TV and Hulu.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's on the Disney Plus then.
No, it's on
No.
Hulu.
But Hulu's everything's on Disney Plus.
No.
Most things.
Disney
No.
things
If
are
you
on
have
Hulu.
the account that puts them together.
If you have
I
the
do.
combo.
I guess I
good
do.
for
Well,
you.
then there you go.
I'm sure we'll find.
Mind you, by the time you're watching this, it may not be on either of those platforms, so
That's
keep that in
true.
mind.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No,
per
our
usual,
reviews are timely.
Yeah,
That's true.
this will be out next week.
our Halloween
What are you
review is
talking
coming
about?
out any day now.
Yep.
We say in November. Late November. Well, mid-November currently. Anyways, if you like the content we're doing, as always, let us know in the comments below what you think. Band of Pixie Girls, do you fall for them? Me too.
Same.
Same though. Anyways, if, make sure that you just totally ignore all those Taylor Swift comments that was in the middle of that video. You didn't hear a thing, and if you didn't, hit that subscribe button, because thankfully we'll watch the metrics and we'll see how many of you actually did watch the middle of this video.
Mhm.
Usually not many. So...
Oh yeah, no.
We know what we did.
Yeah, if you watch the middle or if you watch the beginning and the end, hey, this is your reminder to subscribe and make sure to hit the bell. Annabeth, can you?
No.
No,
Okay.
I can't. She'll hurt me.
Go hit somebody else.
No, you're the price now. So
You are the prize.
you're the price, which would make you the
I am
bell.
nothing like Price. How dare you?
Your scores are like
If you
Price.
think Jill's slowly scoring like
I don't
Price,
give
let
a
us
lot,
know.
Like, I have not given the lowest scores. I'm pretty sure it's
It's
been
true,
Nathan.
Nathan does
Nathan's
that.
definitely given the lowest
Nathan's
this
given
season.
some lowest in this season.
Well, okay, who talks the most about tonal shifts? Because that'll be the price, right?
Yeah, that'll be Price's thing. That was you today, but not usually. Tone isn't the biggest thing.
I mean, it varies.
That's fair.
Sometimes it matters. Look,
Sometimes it
Price has
matters.
good points. Like I know everybody doesn't
Wow.
want to.
He's got-
he's got
like
good points.
Siren should
He's got
say.
good points for the wrong
Points on
movies, is my
occasion.
problem. I'm not saying that he's not never, it's just mostly. And also, here's the thing I think he's got right points on arguments about films, just about the wrong films.
And he's also very passionate about his points.
Yes.
To the fact that he will
To a
reflect
detriment.
it, yes.
Yes.
Into the ground.
Yeah.
With the scores.
He will commit it like 9/11. Anyways, that's our show. Make sure to like the video. Or don't. Honestly, just subscribe. We don't care if you really like. We need the subscribers mostly. The metrics do
You
help.
don't even have to know our names.
You don't. Yeah. Anyways, that's our show. Make sure to tune in next week for... What is it?
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
There you go. Bye,
Yep.
guys.
Bye.